Hello, Enid. I am Diana Hernandez, Communication Assistant for the City of Enid, and with me is Jerald Gilbert, City Manager. City Manager for the City of Enid. Thank you for being on, Jerald.
You bet. Hi, Diana. Hi, everybody.
Yes, lots of things are going on, and they're always evolving and going on here in Enid. One of them, for sure, is road improvements. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, road improvements are always ongoing. In fact, some would say there's not enough of them ongoing. But currently, as we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, there's a road improvement on Maple for a block between Independence and Washington. That's going to be a fantastic improvement. It's between those two tall buildings downtown, the Triangle Building and the Independence Tower. And that will, there's a lot of people impacted by that positively. So it's painful right now, but in about 3 months it'll be done. And that's one of the significant projects going on. There's engineering and water lines being moved on many streets all over town. We'll talk more about those improvements when they actually start. But one that everybody knows about is the overpass on Highway 81. That progress continues, and it appears to be picking up steam to me. They're pouring concrete all over the deck now, and I won't be surprised if that's not close to being finished by the end of the year. So that will be exciting for people that have been used to, for more than a couple years now, driving on one side or the other.
Now, for projects for the City of Enid, one project that is an ongoing topic and going to be discussed, is it tomorrow at the Commission meeting, the Call Lake project? Yes,
the Call Lake project, we won't specifically be talking about it tomorrow. We gave an update last time. That's an ongoing project. We are about 85% plus complete on easements, which is fantastic. We potentially may have a few more condemnations, but we haven't had a whole lot. I think we've had 6 so far, and we may have a few more. So an update, the next update to the City Commission and the public on the Call Lake project is likely going to be the second meeting in September, which I believe is on the 15th. So that will be coming. It's a long-term project, and we are making significant progress towards having the guaranteed maximum price, all the engineering done, and the environmental done by December. We should have the GMP before the end of November, but everything else should be about complete in December. We'll be applying for the final loan through Oklahoma Water Resources Board very soon, through an application for that process. This loan will be for around $200 million to help pay for the bulk of construction. And we anticipate that we'll be ready to move forward on that with the OWRB board, probably in December or January at the latest, depending on their meeting schedule. So we're very excited that next year, 2021, is going to bring a lot of good things, including construction on that project. So we're excited. That's kind of where that's at. There is a page that I think you're seeing right now on the website that's dedicated to Call Lake and showing updates and giving information on that. If anybody wants any information at any time, feel free to reach out to my office or Chris Gdansky or Scott Morris or you guys, and we'll get them information on that.
Yes, absolutely. For quality of life, there are still some things on the calendar that are still set and still ready to go. Now, one of them is Doggie Dip, September the 5th, and that is going to be at Champlain Pool, correct?
Yes. The Doggie Dip for the last several years has been our final event of the year before we drain the pool. The pool is currently closed to the public, but because of an event, triathlon type competition that's scheduled for September 5th, I believe, we have agreed to leave the pool open to facilitate that at that time, and we actually postponed our Doggie Dip. So our Doggie Dip, I think, will be the following Saturday after that event, which I think is on Labor Day, or the Saturday of Labor Day weekend, I think. Anyway, that following Saturday, which I believe is on or around the 9th, we'll have the Doggie Dip so you can bring your dog out. What happens at the Doggie Dip is dogs can get in the water. Yes. Unfortunately, people don't get in the water, but and obviously you need to bring your dog on a leash and have your dog that's socialized, because it won't do anybody any good to have a mean dog down there running amok. But dogs that like to get in the water, this is it for them. They get to get in Champlain Pool, swim around. It's an Olympic-sized pool. So if we catch a photo of a dog doing the dog paddle for that 50 meters or something, we want to maybe have them try out for the Olympics.
That's right.
But it'll be an exciting event. Then we close it and drain it and move on to next year.
Awesome. Now for economic development, what can you tell me about that?
Hey, on economic development stuff, there's always work going on. A lot of times it's like working on a water line below the surface of the ground. You can't see it. It takes a lot of time and effort and money to develop. So I can tell you right now, we're at the tail end of that in the district. All those years of work on that development are coming to fruition with the agreement between the city and Kyle Williams Company, who's doing the development there. Is fantastic. You can see the Coltons very well. You can see the Jiffy Trip. City's still working on the movie theater. We hope to bring that to fruition with an agreement sometime soon. The downtown hotel continues to make progress, which is exciting. More of the parking lot is done. In fact, the parking lot is getting close to being complete. I know I spoke with Ken Bradley this morning, who is the code official for the city, and he mentioned to me that they might actually be done by the end of the year or sooner. So that's fantastic news for everybody that's been paying attention to the downtown hotel. I know there's some exciting work that might not necessarily be economic development classified, but it's quality of life classified. Just recently I was visiting with Kevin Brisky, who runs the Stride Bank Center for Global Spectrum with an agreement with the city, and they're talking to a minor league basketball team that wants to start play as early as March. And that's very exciting.
That is very exciting.
Very exciting. So, and they're looking forward to, they would put their players up in the hotel. So really, once that hotel's complete, it's really going to help with quality of life events at the Stride Center. So those are several things that are going on. There's always other deals. There's ongoing efforts with ERDA, working with the local real estate brokers and developers, trying to fill their buildings where they have empty space. So there's always efforts talking to retailers out there, and then ongoing efforts to visit with companies that create good quality jobs. So the key things going on right now, there's a little update on the hotel and the district. So
thank you.
good times are coming.
Absolutely.
More good times.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Another ongoing topic is public health.
Yes.
What do you think about
The
that?
public health issues with COVID are continuing to escalate. COVID-19 is a very serious issue, continues to be in our community. We had a lot of increases over the weekend, particularly yesterday, according to the state health department. I think we're up to something like 181 or so active cases in the city. I anticipate that could continue to go up for a while. So it's important for everybody to practice socially responsible ways to prevent community spread that are recommended by the CDC. Those things are, one of the most important things is to make sure you physically distance. Don't go and participate in large groups if you don't have to. I know the city, in conjunction with, for instance, Kevin Brisky at the Stride Bank Center, we're already looking at rescheduling some concerts. You've seen the Chicago concert has been rescheduled back to the spring. And again, that's a realization, not really just from our part, but from the part of the people coming here, that we're not ready to do that yet. So when you do go out in public, can't maintain your physical distancing, you should wear a mask. That's recommended. Many businesses in town are requiring that. So for instance, if you go into Walmart, you're going to be asked to wear a mask. If you go into Dollar General, if you go into the hospital, if you go into the school systems, any public schools, you're going to be asked to wear a mask. So please respect all those rules and comply. And we'll get through all this together. And obviously the other thing you can do is, if you're not feeling well, don't go to work, don't go out.
Absolutely.
Contact your doctor and figure out how you can go get a test, and stay home until you're not contagious or until you're well if you don't have COVID. So those are the things people can do and have been doing. This isn't as new to us as it used to be, but it's still very problematic, and it's still highly contagious. So please be aware and act responsibly.
Yes, and I remember Maggie, Jackson, and Ray on here last Friday and saying that they're trying to push for a 48-hour turnaround time. So that is getting a little bit more feasible for people who need to know the results, and it's free. So they don't require any insurance for that. So that's
yeah,
great.
so any COVID test should be free. If you have any kind of health insurance, it's a federal requirement that COVID testing should be free. At the Garfield County, it's free anyway. And the 15-minute test, I think, is available through Express Wellness. Typically that should be free too if you have health insurance. Otherwise, I don't know. You'll have to check down there. The county also has a fast test now too, It's not available every day.
That's right.
But it's free as well. So those are some great sources to go and get tested to find out if you have an issue. But even if you don't have an issue and you're sick, stay home till you get well.
Absolutely. Now for tomorrow, the upcoming study session, what is on the agenda?
Great question. On the study session, we really have one item, which is to discuss some economic development stuff. So anybody that wants to know more, Lisa Powell from the Enid Regional Development Alliance will be there. And she's going to talk about, in general, the process of economic development and specific aspects of it. I don't think she won't be getting into, what some companies talking about doing right now, because we don't talk about that publicly until it gets announced. But it's an effort to put information out there to the Commission and the public about how we do economic development. We'll also likely talk about some other things during study session that are on the agenda, one of them being the recall, setting the recall date, which the Commission will do tomorrow for Commissioner Ezell. And that's probably that is the main event on the regular session agenda. And as everybody should know by now, the signatures that were collected by the populace that was working on that recall effort were sufficient, as it's termed legally, meaning they had enough signatures. So therefore, really the only question for the City Commission is when are they going to call the election, in November or February? And they will do that tomorrow. And I'm sure that there will be, and we certainly always want, everybody that wants to come and talk about it, whether it's on Zoom or in person, please do. Sign up. There'll be sign-up sheets. But the meeting will be conducted both in person and on Zoom.
For the Commission meeting, it is still going to be held at the Stride Bank in the ballroom, or is
Yes, yes. We moved it to the Grand Ballroom again because we think there'll be a large audience in person.
Okay, and we are still doing hybrid, which is going to be online and in person. Okay.
Yes.
Now, another feature that the city has, which is an app called See Click Fix. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, See Click Fix is an effort that the city took on many months ago now. It's been very successful. Excuse me. You can load it up on your phone or your computer, and when you see problems around the city like high grass and weeds, or if you want to schedule a ride with the transit, you can pull that up and do it. It is a good way to notify us. We're working very hard to not only acknowledge those requests that come in, but then also to update the status on when they're fixed. I can tell you that the way the system's set up, those requests, depending on what they're for and specific issues, go to specific people, typically department heads that deal with those issues and respond right away. There is a category called general concerns that actually comes directly to me and to Scott Morris and to our assistant, Eden Gutierrez. And what she'll do is take a look at it and she'll forward it out to somebody that can work on it. And for instance, I got 3 of them last week. 2 of them were for things that we can probably get something done on. One of them was a dead tree downtown. And another one was some stakes that are no longer needed for a tree that's not a young tree anymore, that's in the downtown square. One of them, however, was for a waterway, a drainage flume into Willow Lake that I'm not sure we can do anything about, but we can at least acknowledge the issue and explain that to the public. And so those are 3 that I've seen recently, and so we encourage you to continue to use those. They're a good way to communicate problems to your city employees so that we can fix those problems and make things better for everybody.
Thank you. And is there anything else, any highlights that I may be missing that you want to share with the residents that are watching?
There's always a lot going on at City Hall. Great ways to stay in touch are to watch City Council meetings. You can do that live over Facebook or YouTube, or you can participate on Zoom, which allows you an opportunity to sign up and talk about something if you'd like. You can clearly come down to City Hall if you'd like to. We're going to be meeting at the Stride Bank Center tomorrow night. And maybe for the future to allow for us to spread out and be socially responsible and also make it a safer environment for the public to come and give feedback. I know we're always going to be looking to do more with our resources. Our resources are driven by sales tax. Just a quick note to people, our sales tax has actually been up in July and August over last year, July and August, and we're up about 6% or so for 2 months of the fiscal year compared to 2 months last year. So that's a great start. We still have a lot of uncertainty about the impact of COVID on the economy. And we also know that there's a change in unemployment benefits, for instance. So there may not be nearly as much money out there for people that have lost their jobs and haven't gotten other jobs. So we won't know what that impact is, at least for a month or so. So hopefully that the finances will continue to look good so we can do more than we originally thought. So that's exciting for people. And I think now if you have any questions, I don't know if we get any now, but if we do, I'd try to answer them.
And online questions, we do not have any online questions.
Great, you and I did a great job, right?
We sure
There's
did.
there's no questions or nobody watches anymore, so.
All right, everybody. Everybody sends us questions directly, or you get them, or Eden gets them.
You bet.
We always do our best to answer them timely. If we don't find the answer at that moment, we find the answer as quickly as we can, and we get it back to whoever is asking the question. So thank you, Jerald, for being on, and thank you, Enid, for watching. This is another city update, and remember, it's every Monday at 1:30 p.m. where we would sit down with the city. So any questions that you may have, you can send it our way, and we would be happy to share them here and get them answered for you. So thank you for watching. You guys have a wonderful week.